Hello everyone. Now today's topic is deadlock. How to handle the deadlock handling method. So a system is said to be in a state of deadlock if the every transactions in the schedule is waiting for the another transactions in a schedule to release data item. So suppose consider the transaction that is a T0 to Tn. In this case, the transaction T1 is waiting for transaction T2, T2 transaction waiting for the T3 and the so on. And the last transaction Tn is waiting for the transaction T0 in a cyclic manner. So there is the graph has generated in the transactions. Each one transaction is dependent on another transaction is dependent on the next one transaction and so on. So the transactions present in the deadlocks are either rollback or the restart. A systems with a deadlock indicate bad behavior of the systems. The rollback of the transactions may be partials, that is, transactions may roll back to the point where it obtained a lock whose release resolved the deadlock. So it is not good to have any transactions that causes the deadlock. So to handle the deadlock situation, we have two options. One is to avoid systems in a deadlock by the deadlock prevention. This deadlock prevention method or after deadlock, try to recover it by deadlock detections and deadlock recovery method. So to handle the deadlocks, the method that is mentioned over is deadlock prevention, deadlock detections, and the deadlock recovery. Okay. So one by one we will go through it. What how each and every systems will work. So first is the deadlock preventions. So in the database management systems regularly checks all the transactions operations which are going to execute to prevent any deadlock situations in the system. The checking of all the operation is done to analyze whether the executions of them leads the systems in a deadlock or not. If any operations of the transactions leads the systems in a deadlock state, then that transactions will not allowed for the execution. So there are the different methods to prevent the deadlocks, and all this method uses timestamp of the transactions. So this timestamp protocols we have covered in a previous lecture. Go through it. The timestamp of any transactions TI is denoted using the TS method. So again, this deadlock prevention having the two methods. One is the wait die schema and the wait wound schema. So what is this protocols? How it will work? Now we will discuss. First, we will take the wait die schema. So in the wait die schema, what happens if the older transactions request resources hold by the younger one, then the DBMS allows TI to wait for needed resources. But if the younger transaction requests resources hold by the older one, DBMS like TJ and restart it later. So this is these protocols mentioned here. Suppose if the transaction TI, so this is your transaction TI, that is the oldest one. We are represented using the T1 for the resource which are already locked by the other transaction, that is the TJ. This is your TJ T2. This has already assigned some resources and that resources required by transaction T1. Okay. Then in this scheme, the database management systems check the timestamp of both the transactions, that is the T1 and T2, and perform the following operations. So these operations they perform, that is it will check the first conditions. This is your first condition, that is the TS T1 less than TS T2. Okay. So timestamp of both the transaction T1 and T2 they will check. Okay. And TI, it means here the T1 request resources which are held by the T2, then database management systems allow the TI to wait until the resources is available for the executions. Okay. So T1 and T2 have some resources previously allocated, and that resources required to your transaction T2, and that times T1 required these resources, that times it will be transferred into the wait state. That means the younger transaction has locked some resources and other transactions need those resources. So the older transaction is waiting for the younger transactions to complete, and then older transaction is allowed wait for it until it is the available. So this is your first conditions. T1, that is the older transactions, will wait to complete the operations of T2. Okay. So this way it will work. Next one condition, that is the that is your, again you have to check the condition, that is the T T1 is greater than the T2, means oldest one is greater than the T2. So it means TI is the older transactions and T2 is the youngest one, and TJ requires the resources which are held by the uh, uh, T1, that is the T2 required some resources that is held by the T1. Okay. So database kill the T2 request and restart its a latter which random delay but with the same timestamp. And this means if the older transactions has held some resources and younger transactions wait for the resources held by the older one, the younger transaction is killed and restart with the same timestamp after the some time. So in these conditions, what happens? Suppose T2 is required a resources that is assigned to the T1. So this T2 will not sent into the wait state. It is automatically killed. Okay. That's why it is called as a wound die schema. T2, the younger transactions will come and it will be next time, it will be randomly resolved after some time. So this way it will work. So next one is the method is a wound wait schema. Again here they will check this timestamp value. In this method, if the older transaction requests for the resources held by the younger transaction, then the older transaction force younger transactions to kill the transaction and release that resources. And the younger transaction is restart later with the same timestamp. But if the younger transaction requesting the resources which is held the older one, this database allow the younger transactions to wait until the older transaction release the resources. Okay. So here T2 will in the wait state. Suppose the resources required to T2 transactions is already assigned to T1. So this way it will work. So these are the same conditions they have to check. We have already covered these things. Now next one is the data recovery method. Sorry, data deadlock detections method. Okay. So deadlock detections situation in advance is always good instead of during during instead of aborting a transactions. Okay, before suppose we detect the deadlock maybe occur in a transaction, so it is good uh, uh, instead of aborting that particular transaction. So a deadlock avoidance mechanism is used to detect the deadlock situations in advance. So an algorithms that examine the state of the system is called periodically to check the occurrence of the deadlock. In deadlock avoidance, wait for graph method is used. So for this deadlock detections method, wait for logs method is there. So what happens using this method? So first, in this method, first do not allow any request for an item which is already logged by the another transaction, and this is not always feasible and may causes the starvations where the transactions indefinitely wait for the data items and can never acquire it. So the second point is to roll back one of the transaction. It is not always feasible to roll back the younger transactions, and it may be important than the older one. With the help of some retrieve algorithms, the transaction is chosen which is to be the aborted. And this transaction is known as the victim and the process known as the victim selection. So this wait for the graph schema use a graph that is a set of edges and the vertices to detect the deadlock in the systems. So here one example is shown, that is a wait for graph, that is the two nodes is there. One is the TI and the TJ, and suppose this is the graph, this situation is occurred that is, the cycles may occur. It means they detect that we can say that it may be there is a deadlock will be occurred. Okay, and another in these situations will not allow the concurrent execution. So this way this detections method will work.